Comedy Now! Uncensored! Starring Kyle Radke. Please welcome Kyle Radke!
Thanks very much. Welcome. Nice to be here in Toronto area. I used to live here, Toronto area, and then I moved to Brampton with my wife for 3 years. And we moved away from there because we're white. And we're happy now. We're not racist. We're uncomfortable. And there's a difference. It's horrible. Like, it's all on me. When I walk down the street and I make eye contact with a black man, immediately I think, shit. He totally thinks I'm racist. Now I gotta walk unracistly. And I don't know how to do, just don't walk like this towards somebody. They'll understand. You're just going for a walk. Yeah. It's hard. I don't want to complain about being white. I got plenty to complain about. And one of these things is kids. And it's weird because I don't have any. But everybody wants me to have them. My wife is now weird about it. She wanted to not have kids, and now all of a sudden she's, no, I want to have kids. And I don't know how to protect myself from this. I don't know how to sterilize myself from not having, shy of keeping an iPhone in each pocket and texting myself constantly in hopes that I'll... Testicular cancer. I'm sure they have an app for that anyway, so I'm not really worried about it. But I don't want kids, and I mean, my wife's friends are religious, and they're very adamant about it. They're like, well, hey, you be a good father. God made you a good father. So it's your responsibility to be a father. And I don't agree with that. I'm a good lot of things. I'm not going to do it professionally. I know how to cook fries. Very good. I have the slap chop and oil and everything, and wonderful fries. I'm not going to open a chip wagon because I cook a decent French fry. I'm white, I'm in my 30s, I have a shaved head, I drive a van, I'd be an excellent serial rapist. I'm not gonna, start hiding in bushes because every time I see on the news a composite drawing of an attacker, I'm like, oh, come on. So we don't, I'm concerned about U.S. influence on our kids that don't exist. And I think it's valid. The real reason we left Brampton was violence. And I think that's one of the influences from the U.S. that we follow as Canadians. And blindly, and violence for young men especially. I pulled up beside a kid at a red light, and he was driving a Hummer. And I don't know, I didn't realize you can't do this to kids anymore. What I did was I looked at him. And he gave me the finger gun for looking at him. Just for looking. I'd kill you if this is real. And I wasn't trying to start a fight. He was listening to a song called This Is Why I'm Hot, and it repeats during the chorus. It's, this is why I'm hot. This is why I'm hot. This is why I'm hot. This is why... And it hypnotizes you, your brain, for... You need closure. Why are you hot? I need to hear the end. That's all. Followed by, what? What are you gonna do? He says to me, what? Shoot you what? And everybody in traffic was staring at me too. What are you gonna do? So I didn't know what to... Oh, you got me, I guess. I'm dead. Good shot. You clapped, but he didn't like that. He wanted to fight me at the next light. Put his hands up, let's fight. And I said, no. Let's get out of the cars. No. He said, that's because you're a pussy. No. I'm well into my 30s. I mean, it's a laziness issue. You don't... I'm in my car now. I don't get out of it. Even when I have something to do, I don't get out of it for sandwiches or gas or the bank machine. I'm in here for every... If you want to fight, roll down your window. We'll fight like this. I'm like... I gotta go to Blockbuster, man. This stuff's late. And he chased me for 3 more blocks. And he had to stop, thankfully, because he was driving the Hummer, so he had to get gas, but... I gotta wait. I don't envy that. I don't envy young ladies who starve themselves to look like US celebrities. I don't envy you, and it affects me. It affects my marriage as well, because my wife can't reach her goal weight of 38 pounds. I have to constantly hear how much she hates herself in the mirror, and I don't want to deal with it. And it affects us, because I like to touch her. I like areas on her, and she's, no, don't touch me. No, I don't like that. No, it's not, no, I don't like that area. It's not about you. Get over it. And she's such a cool chick, too. Like, my wife will point other women out to me. I don't mean to make her sound bad, because she's not. She'll point women out. Oh, look at her. Don't they have great boobs, huh? And my buddies are like, oh, my God, that's the greatest wife in the world. You're very lucky. No. Number one, I now have to pretend like I didn't see that woman's tits 4 hours ago in the cab around the corner through the wall. And number two, now I have to reciprocate. Now I gotta point out guys to her, and I'm very insecure about it. My wife's, no, you have nothing to be insecure about. You're perfect sized. Oh, thanks, baby. She's like, yeah, you're perfect. You're like the Goldilocks story. You're not the hot porridge, you're not the cold porridge, you're just right. You know nothing about men, nothing. We want to scald you. We want to be the too hot porridge, steaming hot. Point out men to you. I don't know how I would be a father to a girl. I'm having trouble just being a husband, you know? I'm having trouble not looking at girls that my wife doesn't tell me to look at. What do you do? What's the protocol? And there's so much to look at. Clothes are just smaller and smaller, and boobs are everywhere, and I don't know, and women get offended at you. Oh, don't look, no, don't. Well, you were the ones that did that. Look like, it's ridiculous. If I had jeans with a hole in my jeans and my junk was popping out of my jeans, I was getting upset. No, just because I wear my holy ball jeans does not give you license. Ridiculous. I have this big lawn now, and I don't mow my lawn, okay? And this is a problem for people. It gets mowed, my wife mows it, I do not mow the lawn. Everybody's like, what did you do to train your wife to mow the lawn? I don't get, and I didn't do anything. I'm phobic of bees. I have a phobia, an irrational fear of bees, so I don't mow the lawn, that's it. She mows the lawn, she understands my fear, right? She has a phobia of dark water. I don't make her clean the well. Send her down in a bucket. Tug the rope when you get afraid, sweetie. I'll bring you up for a break. Sadistic. And I'm doing other things. I'm not like, yes, look at her mow. You know, like I do other things. I cook, I clean. She's not stupid. She's like, hey, there's no bees in the vacuum, idiot. Get to work, you know? Like, pretty big lady. I don't get what their problem is. People that aren't afraid of bees. I hate you all. Oh, come on. Eat some lunch outside with her. Shut up. I hate you. It's just a bee. Pick up by the wings like that. The number one argument of those people is if you ignore the bee will not bother you. Yes, it will. It will find me. Trust me. You could have 100 people in a room and one of them is afraid of bees. Release a bee from a jar and don't tell the bee who the person is, and it'll find the person that's afraid of bees. And there'll be 99 other people standing around going, just ignore it, go away. You found me. I'm also afraid to fly. Now, this is a big one because I have to a lot for work, and I don't want to. And at first they told me, you can take this pill, and it'll make you not afraid to fly anymore. It's called Ativan. This will cure you up. And it doesn't. What Ativan does is it numbs your muscles, slows your heart rate down, so now you can no longer physically manifest panic. But your brain still works very clearly. Your body has the loose appearance, but your brain is... This plane was built by the lowest bidder. I hope she holds together, the whole time. Your body's very calm. Everybody knows, he's fine, look at him. If God forbid you crash into water, nobody's gonna save you on Ativan because you look completely in control, like just drowning. Down here, leave him. Clearly he's got a plan. Submarine waiting for him down there. So I don't want to take it anymore, and I had to go to a therapist who specializes in getting over your fears without drugs, which is great, which is what I want. So he has a group therapy session where we all talk about our worst fears for flying. And it's specific. When people are afraid of something, it's always very specific. You have it in mind. So I'm with these people in a circle, and they're all going around. Some people it's takeoff, some people it's landing, some people it's turbulence. It's different for everyone. And it got to me, and my specific fear is when the plane is midair and it snaps in two and seats get sucked out of the plane. It's my fear. And I know it's a good one because everybody changed theirs in the circle. They're like, oh, his is mine now. That's a good one. It's really good. So it's valid. My therapist says to me, what would make you more comfortable getting onto a plane? And I said, a parachute, joking. And he says, great. What you need to do is take a parachute on board Air Canada, and we use this as a drill. And then you try to recreate that comfort level the next time you get on a flight. We'll try it that way. I said, okay. I got to the airport, and you don't realize how stupid and crazy it is until you say the words out loud. Oh, by the way, this is a parachute. I'm gonna check this on board. Sit. It's just my parachute. And adding to the argument, no, my therapist wrote me a note. Doesn't smooth it over. They put me in a little room, and a guy came in, and he says, why do you want to take a parachute on board? And I told him, it's a drill. My therapist thinks that I would be able to get over this. And he says to me, he's like, a parachute's not going to help you if you bang into a building or a mountain. So now I got a new fear because that's pretty good. And I had always assumed that mountain evasion was included in the flight plan with the meal. They just hide it in the credit card bill. Told him, I was like, mountains and buildings are not what I'm afraid of. It's the plane snapping in two and falling out of the air. And he says, well, what's so bad about that? And I explained it to him from the point of view of a phobic, okay? I think about this always when I'm in a plane. When you fall out of a plane like that, and I watch Mayday, I watch Discovery Channel, I watch Mayday, and I see what happens on that show. And it never happens, there's never a warning when the plane snaps in two. It's just in the middle of nowhere. People in mid-conversation, very calm. Hey, I've been reading Maclean's for like 3 hours. Wonder, what do you got there? In the middle of a sentence, plane in two, people falling. And that's what you do now. For the rest of your life, you fall for a living. And you know you're in a lot of trouble when you got to reload on your last death screen. When you're, don't want to make anybody feel uncomfortable. There's a history in my family of bathing suit area cancers, so I have to get checked out all the time. Now, I'm not going to get into detail about the prostate exam. It's been done to death. What I'm going to comment on is the ridiculous nature of the word relax in that situation. It should be thrown out. It's humiliating, because you're not going to relax. You can't relax. For me, I couldn't relax because I'm laughing. I was laughing way too hard. Because all my doctor had was relax. Relax. No. Relax. And I can sense him getting angrier and angrier because his jabs are getting harder and harder. And in my mind's eye, I'm picturing him feeding an asshole baby. You know what I mean? Like, open, open! You know, my butt's like, no. So I turn on, I said, just do the airplane noise. Do the here comes the airplane. Maybe it'll... So we finished, and he removed himself. And it's accompanied by a feeling where you think you had an accident on the doctor's floor. And you're horrified, just horrified. Now, the crime is that he doesn't tell you that this is what's happened. Because he lets you look for something that's not there. You're, oh my. And I'm thinking of plans, like, I'm gonna blame it on a giant mouse. He says, that's not what you think it was. These are his words. He says, that was your anus winking. So is that a real term? You know? Or did you just do a really good job and my anus was like, yeah, well done. The last time I went was a long day because we went to Canada's Wonderland, and I don't know why, it's chock full of heights and bees. And I went with two friends of mine who made a bet with me. They said, if you go on any two rides, we get to pick them, we won't make fun of you for the rest of the year. And that's big, because they're on me all the time about my phobias. I said, okay, let's do it. The first ride they picked is called the bungee swing. Where they put you in a blanket with two of your friends really up to the top and let you go. You swing. Whee! And he says, it looks pretty safe, huh? All those bungees going in, there's like 100 bungees going into that clip. I said, yeah, what happens if the clip breaks? Oh, I never thought of that. Come on. So that ride was terrifying, but I made through it. I got through. The second one was the bad one. It was the drop zone. They wanted to go on and point to it. We're going on that. Big pole surrounded by chairs. And they drag all the chairs to the top of the ride. Everybody sits, and they just let you go. It's supposed to be fun. So watching everybody go up and down, and it's paralyzing because people get up to the very top, there's a lot of screaming. Woo, yay! And then it drops them, and between here and here, there's no sound. Nothing. Just whoop, whoop. What do you think happens between here and here that they're too terrified to even scream? Because we watched, and there was confident big men like, yeah, man, make sure you take my picture. This is gonna be awesome. You're like, oh. So we got on it, and I know I'm nervous because of all the faces you make. After the scream area, people, they crescendo a scream. Like someone's gonna punch them in the face, but they want it. Yes! And then it's followed by the throw-up face at the bottom. Oh. And then people go, let's go again. All right, let's try it. We got on, click, get halfway up, there's a bee in my eye. Just ignoring it. And I know it's there. It's taunting me. Like my older cousin, I'm not touching you. So we get too high for the bee. And now I can't look down because of the heights, and the bee is circling below, waiting for me to come back down. So I don't know where to look, and I look at the girl next to me. I don't know her. She's very, very pretty. humongous boobs. I wasn't looking at those. That's not polite, and I know that because she told me. So we got to the top, and it dropped us. And I was trying very hard. I said, I'm going to scream. I don't see how I'm not going to scream this. And you can't. You can't scream. If you've been on the ride, you know that when it releases you, your bones and your skin leave. But your organs stay behind for a second. And if you try to scream, your anus will shoot out of your mouth. And that's why nobody does, because what do you... And then when people are like, "Nyeh!" It's because you want to get yours. As gross as it's going to be, you want yours, not the anus next to you. I want this anus back there, please. Followed by the throw-up face, because it doesn't taste well. You're, ooh. Yeah. And then people are, let's go again. No! And they started with me, why? Why, you pussy? You scared? No, I'm not scared. It's just that when I went up there and it came out of my mouth, it winked at me, and that's twice today. I'm not doing 3 winks in one day. Thank you very much, everybody. You're very kind. Thank you. Good night.